I was casual. Today, but you know, I'm kind of the chip.
Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Booton, Mr. GLTHS,
Here.
Mr. Gigi,
Here.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan,
Here.
Mr. Moran,
Yeah.
Mr. Bahu,
Here.
Mr. Lemay.
Here. Is there anyone signed up? Mr. Bahu, would you,
Let me take a look, Mr. Chairman. We have Mr. Arthur Grenier.
Yep.
would you come forward,
Sign
Mr.
up to
Gray?
speak.
Could you state your name and address for the committee, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Arthur Grenier, 1565 Lakeview Ave, Drake, Mass.
Okay. You may proceed. I would just say that your remarks should be addressed through the chair, which is
Yes.
myself. And we generally limit to 3 minutes, but I'll let you.
Okay. All right, through you, Mr. Chairman, to the members of the school committee, administrators and staff. I'm here tonight to address the topic of cheating, which appears on page 32 of your student handbook. I brought a copy of it. Whenever a student is found guilty of cheating, copying assignments, or plagiarizing material, either in written form or electronically, the student's work will be confiscated. The instructor will have the discretion to give a 0 for the assignment or reassign the work and/or exam. Cheating is a serious offense that may result in discipline action. Now, in order to be found guilty of wrongdoing in this instance, one would assume that there would be an investigation of some sort. Student would be presented with specific allegations of wrongdoing. The student would have the opportunity to be heard, and since most of the students are minors, one would expect that the parents, guardians, or interested adults would have the opportunity to be part of the investigation. Now, there are a series of 4 emails. I'm not going to discuss the content, the names, but I will say that the first email was sent by a staff member to a class, 8:09 p.m. on June 11th. The same staff member sent a second email to a different section of the class at 8:13 p.m., June 11th. About 23 hours later, this staff member forwarded the emails to 3 other staff members. That email was sent June 12th, 7:03 p.m. I do have a copy which I'll leave for you, Mr. Chairman. And my understanding that on Thursday, June 13th at 2 p.m., the marks closed. So we have a window of less than 48 hours where the grades close for the summer. I would argue that the school lacks a policy to address the issue of cheating fairly and adequately. I urge the school to go back to the drawing board and create a comprehensive cheating and plagiarism policy that is fair and reasonable for all involved. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I thank you for your time. Would you like the board to follow up with you to meet with someone, whether it's the superintendent in regards to that?
Yes, that would be fun.
Okay. We have your contact information.
Yes, we do.
We'll get back to you. I thank
Okay,
I
thank you.
Thank you very much.
May I leave this here?
You may.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Mr. Chairman.
School committee communications? No. Report of the student representative.
We'll have that next time, Mr. Chairman, when school's in session.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Can we have approval of the minutes, June 13th, 2019, with a vote?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Booton, Mr. GLTHS, Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes. Does that cover the 27th as well? Okay.
That's
We
so
also
moved.
have the approval of the minutes for June 27th, 2019. With a
So
vote.
moved.
Clerk, call the rule.
Who seconded?
I did. Mr. Bahu.
Mr. Booton? Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Moran? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes. Report of the treasurer, we have the warrant.
Move to waive the reading.
Okay, the figure would be
They're making a motion to waive the reading. So
I'll second it.
second from
Second.
committee member Gigi.
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Now.
They're gonna be taken out of.
Motion to approve the transfer of $9,201,650.23.
It's not a transfer. It's to approve
It's
the
not a transfer.
expenditures.
Oh, approve.
It's okay. I don't want.
I stand to
transfer.
be
don't want
corrected,
transfer.
Madam Clerk. Thank you.
23. Motion by.
Second by
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias. Mr. Gigi.
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare.
Yep.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mr. Bahu.
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
yeah. Yes. Report of the General Counsel.
They're gonna be taken out of order.
Nice to see you, Mr.
He's gonna be.
Your summer?
You as well.
I am. So in your packet of materials, I just wanted to give you an update on the amendment to the regional agreement that this board had voted on back in January of this year. I think the last time I updated you, I told you that we had gotten the preliminary approval and review by DESI to send out the proposed changes to all of the member towns. So in your packets, you should have 4 letters. I've drafted a letter to the clerk of each of the member communities, providing sort of an outline of what happened, the vote that you took to change the regional agreement, as well as the changes that were made with the consent decree. I sent them a copy of the full integrated contract that we sent to DESI, which they approved on, as well as proposed language that they could put on their warrants at their upcoming meetings. So you have all of those on there. They are, as you can see, it is a time-consuming process, as I've told you. It has to go in front of each of the member bodies for a vote. Once we have full approval of all of them, then we'll send this back to DESI for their final approval and review. But right now, I think the next town meeting, which is scheduled, is November 4th, and that is Drake's town meeting,
Yep.
so they'll be the first one to vote on that. If I hear anything from any of the clerks that I've sent anything to, I haven't as of now heard anything, but I will let you know. But just wanted to let you know this has been mailed out.
I didn't make an inquiry, but in reference to the municipality, Lowell, is there there's a different time structure in that?
Yeah, I sent to them. They have city
Mike
council
Geary, the
meetings.
clerk, yeah.
So we sent to their Lowell that we asked them to put it on their next available city council meeting. So I haven't heard anything from them.
Okay, they're in summer session effective this week, every 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah. So that's where we are with that.
So at that point, we're gonna wait for Dunstable, their next town meeting, as well
Yeah, and I
as
think
Kingsborough.
Yes, and Tingsboro. And I've sent this letter, by the way, to DESI, so they've also seen the letter that was sent out, and they've had no issues with
And
it
we
so
don't know
far.
when the next town meetings are. I guess Dunstable might be way out in March or May.
Dunstable says May of 2020. We don't know when that will be right now, as well as Tingsboro is just May.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, when we did this, having to go through the approval of DESI, we didn't have everything all squared away to get it on the May meetings last time. So, it's a little bit of a process, but that's where we are.
All right.
Thank you.
Need that, Joe?
I want this one. That's nothing.
The next report is the report of the superintendent director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I start, I just want to mention a few things that have been happening in the district over the past couple of weeks. Last week, we had a very successful freshman orientation on site. Great activity for our incoming students from our 4 communities. This past week, Monday and Tuesday, the leadership team had their retreat on site with a variety of different topics, most notably safety, school safety, which we had a national school safety expert, which was in conjunction with the Tingsboro Police and the Tingsboro Public School Administration also. And we also spent a majority of our time on building our leadership skill and working on critical conversations for classroom accountability. Under the good work of Mr. Barton this week, we had 3 days of a successful new teacher mentoring program. Our fall sports have started. If you drove in today, you probably saw our teams out there. Most of them started this afternoon. And Monday, teachers return for 2 days of planning, Monday and Tuesday, on site. And we have an extensive schedule for them. And of course, our first day of school is Wednesday, August 28th, next Wednesday. So we look forward to that event. First item on the agenda, after an extensive search, multiple interviews, including much input from the staff, Allison Rahani has been selected as the Special Education Director. Allison started on Monday, July 8th. Allison comes from the Andover Public Schools. She has an extensive background in special education, has been an administrator there in some other districts. Her expertise working with parents is exemplary. Her work collaborating with others is outstanding, and her knowledge of special education law will assist us immensely. I can tell you just in the short month and a half, she's already gained the trust and confidence of our staff. I think we hit the jackpot with an outstanding administrative hire. I'd like to invite Allison maybe to come up and have a few remarks.
So I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be here and to get started on the important work happening here at Greater Lowell Tech. It's a fantastic school. The opportunities, especially for students with special needs, are amazing. And the work readiness skills provided for our students are phenomenal. So I'm really excited to get started and to be a part of this team.
That is the
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Rahani.
Great to have you on board.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Good luck here.
Thank you. Motion to accept the,
Appointment,
To appoint Allison Mahoney.
yes, to appoint Allison Ryan.
second?
Second.
Mr. Booton? Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare? Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda. Usually this time of year, I give an update from Plant Services of all the projects we did since June 13th. In your packet, loose is a list of items from a memo from Mr. Byrne. Before I read a few of these, I want to take this opportunity, as I always do, but this year I just think our staff just outdid themselves. Our school looks outstanding, inside and out. It looks like a college campus. I want to thank Mr. Byrne for his expertise in managing the facilities, Paul Bolio, foreman, all the work he does, all our custodian and maintenance staff for the hard work that they did this year in getting our school prepared. As you can see, there were some aggressive things that we did to improve our capital fields and building. So we are better prepared to earmark money for teaching and learning. As you can see, our tennis courts were resealed and painted. Some of the highlights, sod and drainage system were installed on the football field. It looks outstanding. Actually, it's the field. Other teams will play on it. The turnaround out front, if you drove in from Dunstable or Tingsboro, has been completed. Our bus ramp has been redone. If you have a chance to go out there with new trees planted and a better repaving for kids who get off the bus, for them to exit and enter the building safely, that particularly comes into play during the winter months. 15 classrooms were retiled. The main gym floor was recoated. New signage around the building. One of the things that I know that this committee has looked at is we've added 2 new classrooms, actually 3 new classrooms in the building. We retrofitted one. We took away repurposed some areas around the library, and now that's become a classroom. And actually, with the good work of the teachers union and working with the teachers, we took part of the teachers' rest area and converted that to a classroom. And I'm really proud of the teaching union leadership for allowing us to do that. Painting was done throughout the building, major painting contract. And of course, our focus is always on school safety and security. We've added 15 new cameras around the building, and we upgraded 6 more. We went through every classroom, top to bottom, looking at what we can do to make our building bright and shiny, and of course safe for our students. Again, I want to thank Mr. Byrne for his outstanding work moving forward.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to comment on that also. I'm here weekly, as weekly as a guest here, but I've been noticing even the front entrance been cleaned up. The grounds guys did a great job. I've seen them here working. There's been softball tournaments here on the weekends. The guys are here. Also, the school is like spotless. It's unbelievable. And so yes, Mr. Byrne and his team and the custodian, everybody's done a great job. And it really looks great.
The chair would concur. Obviously, you're only as good as the people under you. The custodial staff did an outstanding job, and Mark Byrne is readily available, as we all know, on a 24/7 basis in the event of a dire need to get involved with something, whether it's a power outage, winter storm, or whatever. Mark's available. He's done yeoman's work as far as I'm concerned. I've known him quite a while, but
Yeah.
I think the school's a lot better off and what a lot of the work that he's done.
That's the end of the report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We have the report of the business manager.
Good evening. First time here, other than the appointment, so I'm excited and got quite a bit for you tonight. The first item is I picked up this project, the athletic field lighting bid, from George previously, who had put this out. We got our bids back in. We had 3 bids. The low bidder coming from Cullen Electric at $574,880. So I'd look for the committee to make the award to Cullen Electric in that amount for completion of the project.
May I ask, where are they located?
They're out of Marshfield.
Marshfield.
It says there were 21 different bidders.
The package went out to 21 different firms. We only ended up getting 3 that actually submitted bids, but there was a lot of interest right out the gate, and I think it speaks to the volume and the scale of this project and what it's going to do here.
Went a little over budget.
A little over budget, but in working with Mark Byrne, he said he believes that he's going to be able to shift some things around, make sure that we have the funds available to get the project done in this year.
What area of the bid did the amount go up that much?
So I don't know if it was so much in any specific area of the bid. In speaking with the contractor, he told me that the lights alone make up about $375,000 of the $574,000, and because we used a premier lighting company, there was no substitution allowed at that piece. So actually, at the dollar figure that he came in at, I think the low bidder probably had a bit of an advantage, because in talking with him after the bid, he mentioned to me, he's got his own site work, he's got his own equipment, whereas some electrical contractors would have to sub that stuff out. I think being kind of the jack of all trades allowed him to come in with a pretty competitive, or a more competitive bid than some others.
How about the other two bidders? What were their
Their numbers
final
were
numbers?
626,262 was the next closest, and then above that was $664,700. So there's about a $50,000 delta between the low bidder and the next.
I know lighting changes all the time, but I'm sure this is all state-of-the-art equipment.
Definitely. This is in talking to everyone that I've talked to about lighting. This was in a little tidbit. I was in the lighting industry years ago, selling commercial lighting and helping with designs. So I was familiar with the name, and when it comes to athletic field lighting,
It's even better. I feel
this was the
better
top.
already.
It's just an odd skill or an odd past I had there.
And if we grant them this contract, what is the timeline for something like this?
Yeah, I can jump on that, Mr. Bahu. We're hoping. We were told that pending the order of the lights are the issue. Getting the lights ordered, as Mr. Knight had mentioned, is really only one or two players that produce these lights. It's a company called Musco, and they do all the pros and everywhere. We're hoping that it would be completed in the fall. We were actually hoping that we can get the Wednesday night Thanksgiving football game as the first game for the lights. Cool. That's the goal, to get that. It could be earlier than that, perhaps later, but we're told it will be ready for November. So we're hoping that we can move that Thanksgiving game. We're home this year. As you know, we play at a neutral site now. We play at Chelmsford High. It was the first year last year. That we can shift over that field and play on site Wednesday of Thanksgiving, first home game, game under lights, per se, with the new lights. We still will have the homecoming game with lights, rented lights, that's scheduled already. As you know, other teams play homecoming also with the lights. That date is October, the date of October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, something in that range. But hope November 20th, 25th, that's the focus to get the project done.
Good.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias,
Yes.
Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Bahu, Mr. Bahu,
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
So next item up, we have a transfer for approval. During the budget process, when the budget was presented previously, there was $93,000 lumped into a single account that was actually supposed to be broken into two accounts for the main office. So this is more of a, I guess, just a clarification on which account the funds actually belong to. So it's splitting that $93,000 into their appropriate accounts.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Yeah, second.
Second by
John?
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias, Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Bahu,
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes.
All right, the next would be the approval of the FY20 budget. So the FY20 budget was finalized by the state, I believe it was the July 21st, 22nd, somewhere around there. And in their final approval, we actually received $342,679 in additional Chapter 70 funding. So in order to access that funding, we need to have a vote to increase the budget by that dollar figure. And we've provided some detail around the spending plan, working with the superintendent to use those funds in the best interest of the school.
Motion to approve the additional $342,679 given to us by the state of Massachusetts.
You have a second?
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias,
Yes.
Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Bahu,
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes.
And then one other update financially was the the OPEB trust, which we've been working towards. I just wanted to give a quick update that the State Retirement Benefits Trust Fund has approved preliminarily the district entering into that investment fund. So there is a waiting period, but as of September 12th, 2019, so long as there is an objection, we should be entered into that fund. And I've been working with them about transfer of funds and moving things forward there as well. And then the last item I have for you today is an update on looking for a vote to move a vehicle we have here to be declared as surplus. And that was an old bus that was donated to the school district that they had plans about using for transportation to and from job sites with some storage area and then student transportation up front. However, it's a 2007 bus, it's older, and they've made very good use of direct delivery of materials to job sites, and then they don't have to as much worry about that, and they can drive the students in the smaller buses that we have.
Move the vote.
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
Mr. Bahu,
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Old business? Any items not on the agenda brought up under this section will be for discussion purposes only. Action will be deferred to a future meeting. Any old business?
Just me. Just me.
Oh, no. That's go. Mr. Warren. Go ahead. You can continue.
Would you take over?
What do you need? What is,
You're going to sit here taking them.
I can't go and
Yeah,
say
there
that.
you go.
What do you need?
Okay.
What's he doing? Someone calling in. It's just to make this motion, right?
Oh, new business.
All set?
Yeah, we're gonna call Mr. Booton.
Oh, okay. I'll call him.
So you can start. You can just, you have to give him the sheet.
Read it. New business?
No, I have to give him the sheets to read about Ray.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Read it now. Let me wait.
Yeah, let's wait till we get him on the phone.
Okay. Sipping that.
In case he doesn't answer.
Maybe a cold lemonade, Mr. Moore.
Yeah.
Extra ice.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Ray? Hi, are you, gonna join the meeting now? Yes. All right, so you're on speaker, so Mr. Warren has the gavel.
I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
All right, in accordance with 940,
business after. Okay.
Go ahead.
in accordance with 940 CMR 29.10, remote participation, adopted by the Greater Lowell Technical School Committee April 17, 2014. Committeeman Booton will be participating at tonight's meeting remotely due to geographical distance.
That's what I meant.
Go ahead.
And,
We're doing it, we switched it, we're doing the committee person motion first.
okay. Motion by Mr. LeMay to appoint Jill Davis interim superintendent director effective January 1, 2020.
As our last meeting, we need a second.
We need a second for discussion.
That's it.
I second the motion.
Thank you.
Somebody
Back
say
to
that
sleep.
you-
Last meeting, you directed me to speak to those that involved currently on staff relative to an interim appointment with the pending retirement of the superintendent effective January 1st, 2020. As I had mentioned, I had spoken to two in-house candidates. They both are on board, and we would like to, I would like to appoint Jill Davis, our current principal assistant superintendent, as interim superintendent director effective January 1st, 2020. Ms. Davis, as all of us know, has been employed here for close to 25 years. She's well respected within the building. She's quite knowledgeable on the daily aspects of the running of the institution, and I think this gives her a great opportunity to work in tandem with Mr. Mastrocola pending his retirement. During this, we will send out the normal outreach for a potential search, and sometime probably early fall we'll get together with legal counsel and Ms. Davis, whatever is necessarily need to do relative to her taking a leave of absence of her position and that. Do we have any questions from members of the board?
I'm gonna second that motion. Mr. Lemay?
It was seconded three
Oh,
times.
Mr. Booton, oh, I'm sorry. Very good. Good job, Mr. Booton.
We'll add you too.
I think it's terrific. I'll move to vote.
Quiet. What?
Mr. Booton,
Mr. Booton. Roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias.
Yes.
Mr. Gigi.
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare. Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mr. Bahu.
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes. Would you like to say a couple of words?
First, I would like to say thank you to all of you for this wonderful opportunity, and also I'm grateful for your vote of confidence and the recognition of my hard work and commitment to the students, the staff, and the Greater Lowell community over the last 25 years. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with all of you collaboratively and continue to move the school forward and make it a welcoming, accepting place where students can learn and grow and receive a quality vocational technical education. So I'm just so happy to be able to continue my career here and at a new level. And I'm grateful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
He still has something. He still has.
Rosalind, thank you very much for setting this up. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for your participation, Ray. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Back to the business.
Now we'll go into the new business piece.
Okay. Where she's back.
I have something.
New business?
New business, motion by Chairman LeMay, school naming committee member appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. As part of the chairman's responsibilities per the school committee policy, i.e. naming of education-related facilities, Section 2 of the school naming committee will be comprised of 9 diverse members. The school naming committee chair and 2 additional school committee members will be appointed by the school committee chair. In addition, the superintendent will appoint 6 members to serve on the committee, to include 1 administrator, 1 teacher, 1 retired administrator, 1 retired teacher, 1 parent representative, and 1 alumnus. As chair, my appointments are as follows. I am naming Paul Moran as committee chair for a 3-year term, a 2-year term of committee member George Tatsias, and a 1-year term of Matthew Sheehan.
Now you can give them back the gavel.
And there's no vote required on it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
Uh,
To my to-do list.
Any report of subcommittees? Okay, I will entertain a
So moved.
motion to adjourn. By Mr. Sheehan, second by Mr. Gigi.
What's your name again?
Mr. Booton, Mr. Tatsias,
Yes.
Mr. Gigi,
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare, Mr. Sheehan,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Change it. Yes.
Mr. Bahu,
Yes.
Mr. Lemay.
Yes.
Good, I could meet you.